go. 5 lights. And away we go. Edge on pole position. Off they go. And I see he's got a decent start there. Edge got a very good one. He's clear into turn 1. Into 3rd place by the looks of it goes Silver.
Oh, and there's a car off. It's not Thomas until the wall. He lost a bit of his front wing.
There's all sorts of fun and games going on into the fast chicane there. Rev. Oh, and Ocean Chief get together. And off goes Ocean into the wall. So Edge,
He's getting into the nose.
about a half a second ahead of Sergio. Sergio's running a little bit wide, hitting the wall on the inside. That was a big impact. I'm not sure whether it got any of the front wing. It looked like he might have been alright. Very close now. Copy having to go to the outside of Bants as they run through turn 8 absolutely side by side. And I think he might just have this sort of side by side on the exit. They're going to be side by side, I think, all the way up towards the far chicane. Who's going to blink here? Bants on the outside, Copy on the inside. Bants. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2SRL time here on the Extreme Gaming League YouTube channel. As per usual on a Sunday afternoon, we are at Monza. And I believe that little ding was a weather forecast. So I'm just going to turn the screen black a second to check. Bant says all clear. I don't know if that's weather or anything else. But in any case, I'm Incognita and I'll be bringing you this race today. No Thimo today, unfortunately. He's a bit under the weather. Not feeling very well. So we wish him a speedy recovery. And he will be back, I am sure, next week. Better than ever. Triton not quite winning the race off pit road. I think King Buzzo managed to win that one, so he is the first one out in this qualifying session. We have a dry qualifying session. I think we have a dry race as well, although I'm not absolutely sure about that. If anyone knows who's listening, let me know. But otherwise, it's going to be much the same sort of fare and hopefully a bit cleaner than we saw yesterday in SLR. We've got all of the leading lights from 2SRL in this race. Triton, Nick, Bants, Revo's in this race as well in a Sauber, which is going to be very weird. And of course Hugo's as well. And we will see exactly what happens in this one. We're following King Buzzo on his outlap. Oh yeah, Noel is on the keyboard apparently, so don't know how well that is going to go. Yep, that looks like a keyboard to me. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, and off the road goes Effective. And out of qualifying. Wow, he lost a wheel in that impact. So Effective out of qualifying, having hit the wall on the exit of Ascari. That is bad news for him. He's going to be starting this race at the back. And there he is on the left-hand side. And yeah, you can see the Renault just losing the front left wheel there. So yeah, Noel on keyboard in any case. We're going to keep an eye on this first lap to see how that one goes for him. Looks like he was okay through the first chicane. Like he is going to be reasonably competitive in this one. Here's King Buzzo. Is that on the softs? Most other drivers on the super softs. Icewind is on the softs as well. Everyone else on the supers, though Effective was on the mediums before he crashed. King Buzzo going down the back straight in towards the Parabolica. In fact, it was Tipsy who was first out, so he gets across the line first. 20.7 from him. We saw some good lap times in the 19s yesterday. In fact, we didn't yesterday because it was a wet qualifying session, but we have in the past. That's where I would expect pole to be in this one. /LP fastest so far. Hugo's only second in the Renault on a 20.3. Triton just behind him. And Bants goes fastest of all now in the McLaren, so 20.1 from Bants. Nick crossing the line, he crosses the line and does a 1 minute 20.795, so he can certainly do better than that. Danico goes second, so very good lap from Danico. Puts it right up there. Kirst didn't manage to complete his first lap by the look of it. Oh, and almost losing it in Lesmo 1 there. Just about getting away with it. It's not going to do his lap time any good though. Looks like he's given up on this one based on the ERS. It's on low. Stinger and Keyboard Knoll both abandoning their laps. Jeremy has just started his outlap. So I think that's it for a little while. I assume Kirst, he's going around the Parabolica now. I assume he's going to pull into the pits. Indeed he does. So 12 minutes of qualifying to go. Nobody's on a lap at the moment. Jeremy, that's an hour lap from Jeremy. Not exactly sure why that happened. But in any case, he carries on his merry way. What on earth is going on? I don't think I've ever seen the rev bug like appear halfway through a session before. Like while I've been on board with the car, they suddenly just got the rev bug. It's a very strange thing to have happened. So we can follow Jeremy by the looks of it around his lap. Couple of drivers coming out once again. Ooh, that's too late. That's much too late. That's the end of that lap from Jeremy, so he's probably going to be coming into the pits. Given that there's nobody on the lap at the moment, maybe it's a good time to remind everyone exactly what is going to happen on the 7th of June.
One more. Straight to hell.
There it is, 7th of June. Join us for that one, of course. The final tournament on F1 2018 will be starting the new game as soon as that one has finished. It releases, of course, towards the end of June. Here's Jeremy again. Seems to have learned his lesson from last time. Manages to get a stop this time for the first chicane. Kirst about to cross the line. I think he's starting a lap rather than finishing one. There he goes across the line. Tipsy's certainly not on a lap. Hugo's looks like he is though, so let's follow Hugo's for a little while. Quite deep into that. There's no one just about got away with it though. Hit that apex very nicely. Very conservative though. Slash LP goes fastest on a 1 minute 19.9. First person in the 19s in this session. I'm sure there'll be many more 1 minute 19 lap times. Wonder if we're going to see one here from Hugo's. See, oh, gets that all wrong. Nope, that's not a 1 minute 19. So into the gravel goes Hugo's in Parabolica. And straight into the pits he goes. King Buzzo, ooh, run very wide there. That might have invalidated his lap. He crosses the line. It didn't invalidate his lap. He's done a 1 minute 19.6. That is a fast lap from the Force India driver. We've seen he's got really good pace in the couple of races he's done in 2SRL so far. And that is a good lap from him. 3/10 ahead of anyone else in this qualifying session. This is Kirsten. He doesn't seem to be on a lap based on his ERS. Maybe that's lying to me though. It's always possible that it is. In fact, he just finished a lap, didn't he? So he's done a 1 minute 20.4. That is a pretty good lap from Kirst. Puts him halfway up the standings. Triton, I think, just starting his out lap by the looks of it. Not exactly sure. Tipsy's just started his hot lap, so here we go. We'll stay with Tipsy for a little while. 7th on a 1 minute 20.3 right now after that first run. With yellows in Lesmo 1, don't know why. Nope, that's Triton off the track, I think. Yep. So Triton having a moment there, and letting the other Renault of Hugo's through, and in fact stopping on track. Don't want to be doing that for too long. TipsyBob marginally up on his first qualifying lap. Okay then. Why has that happened? Have I disconnected? Thank you, Kirst. Not exactly sure why that happened, but hopefully we're okay. Okay, here we go. I think we got there. Flashbacks from yesterday, yeah, absolutely. But we are back now. Tipsy did a good lap by the looks of it. Oh, yeah, that's, what on earth? Okay. Good stuff from the F1 game there. Big fan of that. So, alright. I think we are definitely back. So Slash LP is either starting a lap or finishing a lap. Looks like he's about to start a lap. Maybe I was going to say go on board with him, but we have the rev bug unfortunately, so maybe let's stick to the outside view. As he locks a brake there into the first chicane. A little bit out of shape in the second part of the chicane as well. So 2 McLarens in the top 4 at the moment. Oh, Jeremy, oh dear. Yeah, it's tough when you don't have a setup. When you haven't practiced. Slash LP through Lesmo 2. Into Ascari. Still almost a 3/10 lead for King Buzzo in this qualifying session. Not sure who that is ahead of us. Looks like a Ferrari. It is a Ferrari. Looks either Nick or Noel. Nick is going to need to improve his lap time if he wants to get somewhere. Slash LP crosses the line and does improve, but not quite by enough to displace Buzzo. That was Nick crossing the line, in fact, doing a 20.2. So he is up to 5th. There's the other Ferrari of Noel. And this looks like a reasonably fast lap from Noel. He's going to cross the line and do a 20.8. So he is 8th. And the game swapped all Jeremy's buttons. Oh dear. I think if you stick to the right pedal to go and the middle pedal to brake, I think that's all you need. So Triton still hasn't done a lap yet. He's in the pits. I wonder if he's thinking about going out on soft tyres instead of on super soft tyres. Everyone at the moment has their best laps on super softs. Danico is not on a lap. If he was on a lap, he just invalidated it. I think he's about to start one. So Bants in third place at the moment. He's on an outlap by the looks of things. Let's follow along with Jeremy then. Yeah, the stutters are pretty common, I know. Dead Pixel definitely affects a lot of people. Affected me when I raced, that's for sure. Jeremy passes teammate Revo. Looked like a reasonably tidy first chicane. Through the Lesmos goes Jeremy. A minute and a half to go now in this session, not very long. On the back straight he goes, using all of that ERS as much as he can. Ooh, getting it wrong though into Ascari. He might have invalidated it there. I think he certainly did there with that second part of Ascari. Yep, looks like it. If he will go into the pits, and we'll probably have to do at least try and do another lap. As Triton retires from the session, so he will start no better than 8th in this one. Jeremy has started another lap. Kurst now about to cross the line. Looks like he's starting. Excuse me. Looks like he's starting a lap. Keep an eye on people as they finish laps in this session. Hugo's is on softs. Coming up to the Parabolica now. I think he's about to start his final attempt. There's Slash LP getting a very nice slipstream from Hugo's there, but the issue is going to be that Hugo's is on soft tyres, Slash LP's on super softs. It's going to be difficult for him to improve. Is he going to try and overtake and ruin both of their laps? No, he's not. He's going to back out. Bants crossed the line a minute ago. He improved marginally by the looks of it. So we know Slash LP's not going to improve. Is Hugo's going to manage to improve though? That's the question. Who else is on a fast one? Tipsy just behind. Danico has just started his lap as well. Stinger, Noel and Jeremy have all finished. Revo just finishes as well, doesn't quite manage to beat his teammate. Hugo's into Ascari. Getting a little bit wrong on entry, but I think just about got away with it. Again, running very wide on the exit of the final corner. Don't know if he got away with that. Doesn't look like he did. So he crosses the line and he will not improve either. King Buzzo went 2/10 faster. He was already on pole. He's now on pole by even more. Danico now about to cross the line. This looks like a good lap from Danico. He's going to cross the line and he goes... Well, that was a really fast lap, but it was invalid. 19.4 would have put him second, but instead he has to start from 4th on the grid. So there's your order. Buzzo from /LB, from Bants, from Danico, and then TipsyBob rounding out the top 5. Nick, disappointing for him a little bit by his high standards. He's starting 6th. Hugo starting 7th. And then Triton and Cursed in the top 10 will start 9th on the super soft tyre. So there we go. See, several people had invalid laps. Danico's lap would have put him second if he'd managed not to invalidate it, but unfortunately he has to start 4th instead. So I think everyone at the front of the grid is going to be on super softs to start. I'd imagine the 5 cars behind, I think, maybe 4. Can't see Effective in the list. Maybe Effective is not starting the race. Those outside the top 10 probably will start on softs instead. Effective is there. Don't know if he's in the car. And yeah, Icewind, in fact, the only one to start on softs. Everyone else starting on super soft tyres. Presumably, I think it's pretty comfortable to go either super softs onto mediums or super soft to softs. If you want to start on the softs, then probably that means you're going to be going softs onto super softs towards the end of the race. There isn't all that much tyre wear here. It doesn't affect you too much in terms of lap time. See everyone weaving their tyres. Relatively short lap here at Monza in terms of time, at least. 1 minute 16 or thereabouts, 1 minute 19 in fact, or thereabouts. Oh, that snow just overdoes that a little bit. Good thing there's no damage on the formation lap. Go TipsyBob, there he is. A distinctive green helmet. Two McLarens in the top 5 in this race. Pretty good qualifying performance from them. Icewind gets himself disqualified from the session somehow. Don't know exactly how. So here we go then, 27 laps. It's going to be a relatively quick race, this one. Doesn't take all that long to do those 27 laps. It'll be about 40 minutes. You see the drivers at the back forming up on the grid now. Here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go at Monza. Very good start from Bants. He got a really good one there. Trying to go between the 2 leaders, King Buzzo just about fending him off for the time being, but Bants already ahead of Slash LP into second place. Down the outside goes Danico, and a very nice move from Danico gets that one done cleanly on Slash LP. And further back, looks like people are getting through cleanly, at least for the time being. So relatively clean start at Monza, in contrast to what we saw yesterday. We got a Red Bull making a move, or trying to make a move on Danico there. That was Slash LP. But everyone through the first few corners relatively safely, and off as I say that goes, who was that? Was that Kirst? It was, out of the second chicane. Effective unfortunately leaves the session. Didn't see what happened to him, but Kirst spun on the exit of the Rogier chicane. So he is going to be at the back, and he's got it all to do now from here, but towards the front, as I said, relatively clean getaway from the front 4 or 5 at least. A very good start from Bants as Hugos pulls out from behind Nick. TipsyBob has lost 3 places on the start somewhere. Oh, Nick almost squeezing Hugos off there, and Hugos trying to go a bit wide, and again being just nudged out of the way, I think, by that Ferrari. Managed to stay with it though. Hugos now trying to make a move again. Further back there's Noel on TipsyBob trying to make a move into the first corner. Nick manages to stay ahead once again of Hugos. And further up, Slash and Danico really fighting towards the front of the field. Tipsy and Noel battling pretty hard. The two Saubers side by side as well, further behind. Revo, I think, passing Jeremy into the second chicane. Oh, and Noel just about staying in front there. Meanwhile, Slash has passed Danico for third. So Slash, after that poor start, has made a move on Danico. Up front, though, the two of them are getting away. King Buzzo and Bants have a considerable lead now. Effective, obviously having connection issues. It's unfortunate for him. This is the battle for... Well, in the foreground is Slash LP, who's in third place. And then 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And in the background, 8th is Noel. As Bants does the fastest lap of the race, he's going to be at least having a little peek at King Buzzo. Nothing really doing. No need to be too aggressive at this point, of course. Tipsy and Noel still side by side into the first chicane. Noel again covering the inside. And oh, we got a terrible run out though. There's a mistake from Noel on the exit, and he's lost all sorts of places there. He's lost at least 3 and maybe 4 as Stinger tries to capitalize on that as well. 2 Saubers still side by side. Jeremy getting back ahead of Revo as they go into the second chicane. Meanwhile, these are 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Again, all in the same shot. Nick following Danico very closely indeed for 4th. Mascari, he goes, oh, a little bit of a mistake, got a bit wide there in the middle of the chicane. I feel will have gotten some warnings for that. I will have thought so. Now the 2 up front as they come to complete lap number 3 here at Monza. And still trailing King Buzzo. Further back, this is the battle. Nick not quite close enough to the back of Danico for 4th place. Hugos following very closely as well. Again, the 2 Saubers swapping places towards the back end of the top 10. Again, 5th, 6th and 7th, all very close. Nick, who had a reasonably poor qualifying by his very high standards, ahead of both Hugos and Triton here, and obviously holding them up. Slash LP is the first person to get a 3-second penalty, so that's going to matter quite a lot, I think, towards the end of this race. He's currently up in 3rd place. It's Triton now alongside Hugo's into Parabolica. Further back, there's a big battle raging between Jeremy and Noel. Jeremy managing to stay ahead at least for the time being. Oh, Jeremy getting sideways on the exit of Parabolica. He's going to be, I think, struggling to stay in front of Noel now. No DRS, of course. Well, he does have DRS, in fact, Jeremy. But even so, oh, he thought about making a move there, didn't he, to the inside. Not sure that would have worked out too well. But Noel does manage to get the pass done cleanly. So he's back into the top 10. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there, I think, from Stinger on Jeremy as well. Well, something happened a little bit further up, which has meant that Nick is now all over the back of Danico for 4th place. Meanwhile, the front two continue to stretch their legs. 3 seconds now nearly is the gap from Bants in 2nd to Slash in 3rd. And of course, there's a penalty in there as well. The back Stinger. Oh, and Jeremy off the road in the background. Didn't see why. I wonder if Jeremy has lost some of his front wing. Obviously made a mistake there as Kirst trying to go up the inside, and yeah, has to back out of that, unfortunately. Stinger keeping that position for the time being, and he's under pressure from his teammate now, Icewind. In the midst of all that, Triton got himself a penalty as well. So Triton, who looks like he's struggling a little bit for pace in this one. And up the inside goes Danico as Nick almost runs into the back of Slash as well there. Danico up the inside. So he's into 3rd. Hugo's just lying in wait at the moment. Danico a little bit sideways in the chicane. Seemed okay though. Oh, meanwhile, that was a mistake from Slash. Just as I cut away, which is why I cut back very quickly. Those are the 2 cars running very close behind him. Hugo's and Nick both trying anything they can at the moment to clear that Red Bull. Meanwhile, here is Bants on King Buzzo. And again, just content to stay behind for the time being, as Noel gets himself a penalty. It's a little bit of a mistake from Bants on entry into Parabolica, which might mean that he's not able to make an overtake now. Oh, Hugo's passed Nick at some point as well, so didn't see when that happened. Further behind, TipsyBob passing Triton now for 7th, so Triton is struggling for pace. As Bants goes to the inside into the Roger chicane, looking to take the lead from King Buzzo, still side by side. Oh, and a little bit of a screen freeze by the looks of it for Bants. Cost him a chance at that position. He's still right up behind the Force India though. The more they battle, the more of course they hold each other up and allow maybe this pack behind to make some inroads as Slash LP almost gets it all wrong on the exit of the 2nd Lesmo. Hugo's now might be having a look into Ascari, decides not to. Don't really want to be going too wide into Ascari. Oh, and Slash looks like he's really struggling at the moment. Struggling to hang on to the back of Danico. He does just have DRS. Kirst gets himself 3 seconds as well. So Hugo's now, I think, will probably be passed. And yeah, no DRS for Slash, which means that he's a sitting duck, and he might be a sitting duck for Nick as well in the Ferrari. He goes through 2. Slash, who started on the front row of the grid, remember, He's only gone backwards since then. Currently in 6th. Revo's been making pretty good progress as well in that Sauber. He managed to pass Triton at some point, didn't see that on track. He's all the way up to 8th, just a few seconds behind Tipsy. Out of the Lesmos again come this battle group. Danico trying to make a break, but he's got Hugos for company now instead of Slash LP, who was visibly struggling on those super soft tyres. Two up front, very close once again. Bants trying to just lie in wait behind that Force India. Again, he's struggling to get the exit though out of Parabolica, and obviously you need to get the exit out of Parabolica if you want to make a pass down this front straight. He might have the straight line speed anyway though. King Buzzo not really able to do anything about it, and Bants, I think, is this time going to take the lead of this race, and through he goes. So Bants, who's been lying in wait for much of the first stint, decides that now is the time to make his move. And through he goes. Into the Roger chicane then. Danico, Hugos and Nick. 3rd, 4th and 5th. And Danico has been closing that gap very steadily. The two of them up front fighting. That was a mistake from Danico. King Buzzo now alongside once again for the lead. He's going to get past, I think, before they get into Ascari. So the two leaders swapping positions, which will help the group behind, of course. Oh, and off into the wall. Was that a hit from Bants? I didn't see whether he got any help there. But King Buzzo in the wall. Might have been hit from behind. Also didn't see any front wing, so maybe he got away with it. Oh, and again more contact as Danico doesn't leave King Buzzo room on the outside there, trying to get through. Meanwhile, here's Hugos and Nick. Hugos, I think, let Nick have that one. And Slash LP is the first of the lead runners to pit. He puts on what look like medium tyres, although the graphics in game are telling me that they are soft, but I think they are mediums. King Buzzo now has got it all to do as Hugos goes across the chicane. That'll have cost him a little bit of time. Here we are, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th then. Danico about 2.5 seconds behind race leader Bants. It's coming up to the ghost of effective. I think that ghost might be giving Danico a DRS here down this front straight, which is potentially a big deal if it does. Or maybe not. He's going to be clear of him before gets to the detection, and a bunch of people dive into the pit. So Bants pits from the lead, and so does Danico, and so does King Buzzo. So all three of them deciding that now is the time that they want to pit, which means that Nick inherits the lead from Hugos in 2nd place, Tipsy 3rd, Revo 4th. Revo, of course, will have started on fresh tyres. He's qualified outside the top 10. He's been steadily closing that gap to TipsyBob for the last few laps. Slash LP onto mediums, Jeremy onto mediums as well. And the three front runners all pitting and going onto softs. Triton also going on to softs as well. In fact, Danico going on to super softs. So that must then be a 2-stop from Danico. Because you have to use 2 different tyres, of course. As Jeremy gets himself 3 seconds. He pitted a lap or so ago. Went onto the medium tyre. He's now just behind Milos Martika himself. Bants having a little look at Danico there, but Danico, I mean, he'll know surely that Danico has to stop again. Not really the strategy you want to be on. You're not going to be that much faster. Bants just staying in the slipstream. Another 3 seconds for Triton. As the in fact the 4 cars who didn't pit last time out decide that they are pitting this time. So Noel inherits the lead. He's the only one not to have stopped yet in this race. And I missed Icewind DNFing at some point, so I think that happened a while ago. Didn't see when it happened. So I was thinking, what about Icewind, who started on the soft tyres? But yeah, he was out of the race quite early by the looks of things. Tipsy battling with Slash LP, having just come out of the pit lane. 3 seconds for Revo. The gap up front, so Danico got a little bit of an advantage there, and I wonder if Danico's tyres are bugged, because Bants has passed Danico, so maybe Danico's not on super softs after all. It would be a weird tyre choice, and he's struggling to stay on the back of Bants, so maybe he's gone onto the mediums instead. Into the wall at Ascari, bad luck. Nice wind out of the race, unfortunately. And Slash loses it at the exit of Ascari and almost wipes out a Sauber. That was Revo just managing to squeeze his way through. But off goes Slash LP, has to rejoin in a way that is as safe as he can in just about. The cars behind managed to, but only one of them was a real car that was cursed. So Noel into the pits, but Slash LP really struggling in this race. We saw him get very sideways in the first stint quite a lot. Slash even gets himself a pit lane speeding penalty for good measure. So it's not been Slash's race, unfortunately. This is Revo and Triton, the battle for 7th on track at the moment. Revo manages to just blend out of the throttle there, gives Triton that position comfortably enough. Both of these drivers on soft tyres, and gonna say that I think Danico is not actually on super soft tyres. I think he's probably on either softs or mediums. And something has bugged out there for me. Bants at the moment with a healthy lead. He's out of DRS range, which is very important around Monza. Danico not going to get to use that DRS. Someone who is going to get to use DRS though is Revo, who's on the back of Triton. He's got his battery off, so not really interested in overtaking. There you go, Triton and Revo. Meanwhile, further up the grid, Nick and King Buzzo doing battle. King Buzzo, who didn't exactly see what happened. It was right here on the exit of Ascari. Either he got loose and hit the wall, or he got pushed into it by Bants, but either way he suffered from it. That was lag, I think, from Nick, which meant that King Buzzo closed up on the Ferrari, and I think he'll be passed now without any problem at all. And Noel off the track at Ascari, so Didn't see that, but he certainly went off. Did lead this race for a lap, of course, but while everyone else was in the pit lane, but going to be struggling to score points, I think, in this one. So King Buzzo does get that move done on Jack, or Nick, into turn 1. There's no... Well, I guess he lost his front wing in that incident, so he's going to have to pit, unfortunately for him. Puts a set of soft tyres on. King Buzzo chasing after Danico now. A little bit up the road. The gap between Bants and Danico is a 1.5 seconds. There's another 1.5 seconds back to Buzzo. Revo passed Triton at some point. Didn't see when that happened. I guess there must have been a mistake from Triton somewhere. Triton's someone else whose tyres have bugged for me, so I can't see exactly how old they are. Parabolica then. 12 laps to go in this one. With a little bit of a gap. Triton has DRS. He is actually using it. Ignore the notification in the bottom right that says he's not. I assure you he is. And this is the battle for second now. King Buzzo has caught the back of Danico. As Triton pits himself 3 more seconds, so he's got 9 now, I think, Triton. Hugo's gets himself 3 as well, so Hugo's obviously pushing pretty hard in that Renault. And yeah, I think it's usually better to race than not race, Icewind. So good that you did, but unlucky with the crash. King Buzzo now right on the back of Danico. And I think he's going to be passed here. Danico not really able to do anything about it under braking. Oh, a little bit of contact, but King Buzzo always had the position. And there he goes into second place. So can he now close some of that 2-second gap that he's got between himself and Bants? I don't know what tyres Danico is actually on. He's got himself 3 seconds of penalties though. So his race, I don't know if it's beginning to fall apart quite, but certainly he's struggling a little bit in the second half of this race. Triton still right on the back of Revo as they go through the Lesmos, but further up. Danico now all over the back once again of Buzzo. He will of course close up on the straights. That's how Monza works. Oh, Jeremy pitting unfortunately. So something happened to Jeremy, didn't see what. He's obviously been struggling out there. Bants has pulled out a little bit of an advantage though. Nearly 3 seconds now is the gap between himself and King Buzzo. Further back, Revo and Triton battling for 7th. There goes Triton up the inside into turn 1. Revo doesn't really fight that too hard, not too much point. Nick on those soft tyres. All of the top 8 other than Danico, and we don't know what tyres Danico is actually on. Unless he is actually on super softs and he's stopping again, but if that's the case then he's probably not going to score any points in this race. Nick to worry about just behind. King Buzzo is closing that gap very slowly. 2.3 now. It was 2.7 at the beginning of this lap. He's closed it by around about half a second. As Triton again gets himself 3 seconds, so he's up to 12 now. As Kirst retires from 9th. Didn't see... Oh, that's why. Oh, rip Kirst. He's done exactly what Icewind did earlier in the race, and he's stacked it on the exit of Ascari. Exactly what Effective did in qualifying too. So Kirst out of the race, out of the points, unfortunately, as Nick gets that pass for 3rd on Danico. He cut the chicane a little bit, but looked like he got away with it. So Nick up to 3rd place in this one. Slash LP inheriting that final point from Milos Martika, who once again has issues in his Monza race, just as he did on Thursday night. That was Jeremy going slowly in the Sauber there. He's a lap down. And the Triton Revo battle has now caught TipsyBob. So Tipsy under a little bit of threat for that 6th place as he gets sideways on the exit of the chicane there. Both Mercs out at Ascari, yeah, afraid so. Tipsy looks like he's really struggling. Really struggling for pace in that McLaren Revo. I think he's going to be very interested in that position as well, although of course Tipsy will have the DRS on Triton here. Just got the inside into turn 1, can't brake late enough though. Here they go. Revo tried quite hard to get the exit there, but didn't really seem to get a very good one. And Tipsy struggling to hang on to the back of Triton. I think he's going to be under pressure very soon from Revo in that Sauber. Meanwhile up front, much as I hate to pull us away from that battle, the gap somehow has closed all the way down to 7/10 of a second, so King Buzzo certainly has the pace in this one. Looks like he's got the pace on Bants for sure. He closed up 2 seconds in, what, 3 laps? Something like that, 1 minute 22.3 from him. He bowed the race since formation lap. Oh dear, Milosh. Didn't see the formation lap issue. We saw the aftermath of the race issue though. Yeah, we saw the lap 1 as well. We saw the spin exit of this corner right here. I think Buzzo almost runs into the back of Bants there into the second chicane. I think he's going to be struggling to keep the Force India behind him. You've only really got to be somewhere near the car in front of you and you're going to be able to make an overtake stick down one of the DRS straights, maybe even this one. Bants goes to the inside to defend. King Buzzo goes to the outside. In fact, he didn't go to defend, he going to let him through. So Bants giving up that position, maybe tactical, maybe because he feels guilty about the incident earlier, not exactly sure. We don't even know if that was Bantz's fault or not. In any case, King Buzzo leads this race and Bants struggling to stay with him by the looks of it. Further back here is TipsyBob, who has been passed by Revo and is out of DRS range already, so he's obviously struggling a little bit. I think just for pace in this in the second half of this race. 6 laps to go. Bants is out of DRS range of King Buzzo. He's got Nick 4 seconds behind him. in the Ferrari. And Hugo's another 2 seconds behind Nick. Hugo's, I believe, though, has a penalty. I'm actually going to check the penalty situation very quickly. Hugo's has a penalty. Nick has no penalty, only 1 warning. Bants has no warning. And King Buzzo has 2 warnings as well. So King Buzzo right on the edge here. But honestly, it looks like he might be able to pull out 3 seconds. Seems to be much faster than Bants in this race. Although he made a mistake there, and Bants has caught up again. So Buzzo having to be vigilant for Bants behind, and also has to make sure that he doesn't get himself another warning. Another, just a small incident here for Buzzo, and he is going to be behind Bants once again in this race, because it doesn't take much to get a warning on strict corner cutting. This is Triton and Revo. Triton going to the inside. Is he defending or is he letting him through? He's letting him through into the first corner. So Revo up to 6th for the time being, at least 5 laps to go. Probably with an eye on the penalty situation. Triton, he knows he's got lots of penalties. And gets himself 3 more seconds. Danico, we still don't know what tyres he's on. One thing's for sure though, he's not on the super softs. Because he wouldn't be trying to go to the end of the race if he was. I believe that's Jeremy behind him. I don't think that's Revo. Yeah, it is. So Jeremy a lap down. Revo's a little bit further back. And there he is. Into Ascari. Once again up front, King Buzzo leading by just over a second. That's the view from Bants. King Buzzo looks like he might be on his way to his first 2SRL win, but still 4 laps to go, and he's still got to get through those 4 laps without getting himself even a single warning, because even if he gets a single warning, he's on 2 at the moment, he gets a penalty. There's Revo and Triton. 4 laps to go. And Triton's isn't really a battle because Revo doesn't have any penalties as far as we know. Triton has quite a few penalties. Jeremy gets himself another one. He's had a miserable race, unfortunately. And Triton gets himself another one as well, so 5 now for Triton. I think Nick might have Hugo's to worry about quite soon. Hugo's with a penalty, Nick doesn't have one yet. Still, it's relatively close between the 2 of them. And Revo gets himself 3 seconds as well, so he's not immune to all of these penalties going around. That looks like it was in Ascari. Up front though, this is where the tension is in this race. Bants trying to put pressure on, I think, with 3 laps to go. You won't know, of course, that King Buzzo is on 2 warnings, but he'll suspect that there might be penalties in this race somewhere. And he'll want to stay within 3 seconds, I would have thought. He hops across the Rogier chicane. Another mistake from Buzzo means that Bants is right with him. What on earth? That's desync or something. Yeah, I was going to say, that's not actually where Buzzo is. He is in fact just over a second in front. That was some sort of disconnect. Maybe it was my connection, maybe it was his, I'm not sure. Yep, F1 not covering itself in glory there. But Bants will be trying to put the pressure on. towards the end of this race. 2 laps to go. And he does, I think, have DRS this time. No, he doesn't have DRS, in fact. Or maybe he does. But he's not using it. Looks like he does have it, but he's not using it. So, not sure what's happening there. Hugo's now on the back of Nick, but of course the penalty situation is such that he would need 3 seconds ahead of the Ferrari if he were to get that 3rd place. Oh, there's a mistake from Nick in the 2nd chicane though. He's going to be right on in here. With a lap and a half to go. He's probably still not going to be able to get the position, but maybe he forces a mistake, maybe he forces a penalty for Nick somewhere. Oh, and Hugo's gets himself 3 more seconds by cutting the inside of Ascari, so that's certainly the end of his challenge. Meanwhile, up front, Bants is in DRS this time. As they come around to start the last lap. He's using DRS this time. Going to put as much pressure on as he can. Further back, Triton goes to the inside, or Nick rather goes to the inside. Hugos tries to outbrake him, but has to cut the chicane instead. And he will lose that position again, unfortunately, so Nick staying ahead on track for the time being. Here are the leaders, though. Bants is trying everything that he possibly can to get close, but he's not close enough at the moment. Buzzo staying cool, not getting himself a penalty. He gave the exit curb at Lesmo there a very wide berth with Buzzo. You saw that from on board. Jeremy gets himself 10 seconds for corner cutting. Further back, Triton and Hugo's battling into Ascari as Jeremy retires. Miserable race for him, unfortunately. But up front, looks like King Buzzo's going to do it. He's survived all of that pressure. And he takes his first 2 SRL win. He is delighted. And, oh, Hugo's... Oh, what happened to Hugo's? Did he try and make a move there? It didn't work out. So he might lose 4th here to Danico. I think he will. So Danico gets himself that 4th place. And Nick finishes 3rd. And Revo finishes 6th. Triton 7th. And in fact, Revo falls behind Tipsy. Tipsy didn't have any penalties. Revo had 3 seconds. So Tipsy gets himself 6th place. So 2 McLarens in the top 6. In this one, Triton finishes 8th. Stinger, I think, is going to finish 9th, a very distant 9th in that Toro Rosso, but still 2 points for him. And then followed by Slash LP. And a very good performance, honestly, from Keyboard Noel on keyboard. Good stuff from him. Slash LP crossing the line. Keyboard Noel. What's the penalty situation? Does Slash LP have more than Noel? No, he doesn't. So Noel ends up 11th. Slash LP 10th. And that is the Italian Grand Prix. King Buzzo then. First race win for him. Well deserved, you have to say. That incident with Bants earlier in the race, but did in fact manage to bring it home at the end. He passed Bants on track in the second half of the race and then stayed ahead to the end of the race. Good result for Nick in the end, finishing 3rd. What does that do to the championship situation? Let's have a look. Shall we? I wonder where I can have a look actually. Oh, we're doing interviews. Don't know if we're doing interviews. We shall see. Let's have a look at the championship first, though. Where is the championship? I'm sure it's here somewhere. Season 5 info, there we go. So Hugo's ended up finishing, was it 5th in that race? I think it was 5th, so he gets, what, 10 points? Nick finishing 3rd, so he's closed the gap. It was 21 points, it's now 16 points. Bants finishing 2nd has closed the gap as well. So he's now 7 points behind Nick in 3rd place. It's those 3 for the championship with 3 rounds to go. So the question is, are we doing interviews? I'll move into here. Who wants to talk to me? I'm in general chat 3 for anyone who wants to talk to me.
Well, I'll invite myself in.
Hey, Milos Martika. You were running pretty well there for a while.
Yeah. Until the formation lap. I mean, formation lap, I bowed myself. So I thought it was a good idea to warm them up in Ascari. And I decided to yeet it around there. And I had my tires, a bit too warm after Ascari.
So you went into the wall there, and then on the start, you had an incident lap 1, right? Did you lose it by yourself? I didn't see anyone hit you.
No, I think it was a bit of dacing on the start, but I ended up mounting the curb in the second chicane, and I completely flung my car in the air, and I lost control of it.
Ah, rip.
So I mean, yeah, I did well to get back up to P9.
Yeah, you were running. Yeah, you were running 9th when you crashed, right? Like, and that was it? Was it just one of those incidents where you get sideways in Ascari and you just yeet the inside wall?
Yeah, I mean, what happened? Because and I feel like there was maybe a bit on the tires as well. Because tires didn't feel really too good either. But I took Ascari wide out, and I got on the outside of Ascari. I clipped the curb there, and I spun me round to the wall.
Yeah, it does that. Oh, well.
So I try to like clip it kind of sideways with the wheel, so I don't get wing damage. But instead, I got my wheel off. So
yeah,
it wasn't a good compromise.
Well, you weren't the only person to have exactly that crash. I know Effective had that crash in qualifying, and I think Icewind said he had that crash as well in the race, and Slash LP almost did in the race as well. So yeah. You definitely
I mean, if I hadn't have bowed the formation up, then I could have been running up with the boys with maybe Brevo and Triton. I feel like I had the pace today to get some good points.
Yeah, it looked like it. Your qualifying was decent as well. Like it was it like a mid-20, low 20, something like that?
20.4, yeah. A second off my TT time, but yeah.
Yeah, your TT time's insane. I don't know. Yeah, exactly what happened there.
And Kobe did the 18s, I think 8 in TT, so I'm not touching that at all.
18.8. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know
that's just ridiculous.
Do you know what the world record is? It can't be far from that.
Probably like I think I did check once. I think it's like 11, but you know that's not legit.
Yeah, presumably that's somebody cheating. But yeah, I think the esports guys are doing like low 18s, right? Like I don't think it's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it's much faster than Copy's time.
No, not at all.
Oh well, I think that's going to be the broadcast for today, folks. Thank you to Milos for joining me for an interview. We didn't have Thimo today, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll be back next week.
We didn't have Thimo going Super Saiyan at the end.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Didn't have anything like that. But any shout-outs you want to give? Any final thoughts, Milos?
I'd like to thank my mom, Kitsune, for supporting me throughout the whole race.
That's good.
And my whole 2SRL career.
Yeah, she's a good source of support in the community as Kitsune. So thanks to Kitsune. But yeah, otherwise.
I think you'll find she would support me, Kurt.
Well, it's a bit of equal. It's equal love. Okay.
Hold on, are you trying to say you're equal to me?
Yeah, 'cause you're my dad, so I'm like the fucking. See, going by logic with Kitsune's my mom, then you're my dad, so that's kind of unlucky.
Well, I suppose.
I suppose.
Welcome, Tipsy. How was your race, Tipsy?
don't know if you've seen it much, but it was reasonably quiet.
Yeah.
I completely bogged the start. I went from 5th to I think 9th by the first corner. I'm struggling with my starts. And then it was just trying to maintain or basically recover from where I got to. And I got to the point where I was going to pit in lap 10. My tires were really wrecked, but I seen Bants going into pit, so I had to go an extra lap, which was very painful because like it was like 60% something on the tires. But anyway, whenever I came out, I was really pushing because I managed to get the jump on Slashy. Hang on a minute, I can hear rain echo. Sorry, yeah, I got out in front of Slashy, so I was pushing hard. But then I was getting over the radio that Triton and Revo had a lot of penalties. So whenever I heard that, I stopped pushing. And what I was doing is then I was playing the long game, in the sense that I was switching my battery down and going easy on my tires. So whenever they had caught up with me, I didn't fight them too much. But once they passed, then I did my best just to kind of maintain that gap so that I could jump them on the penalties, and luckily I did, and I got P6. So that's what P2 and P6 for me and Bants, so I think that would put us very close now to the top of the constructors, because that's what we're really pushing for this season.
Ah, that's a good point. I didn't mention the constructors. So Ferrari didn't score. Yeah, I guess Nick was 3rd, so Nick got 15, but you were 6th in the end.
Yep.
So 8 plus 18, so you got 26. So you'll have closed it by 11, so you're down to 13 points now behind.
And you see, it's looking good because for Ferrari and Renault are our biggest, rivals at the moment. But Ferrari have only got one driver, and Hugo's only got one driver who consistently score.
Yeah.
Whereby, like I said, myself and Bants, we usually always in the top 10. So it's looking pretty tasty that we might finally clutch it after 3 seasons, or how many? 5 seasons?
Yeah.
We might actually get.
It does look like it, doesn't it? Yeah, Renault, I think, have not quite fallen out of it, but almost fallen out of it with today, because I think Hugo's got 5th, so he got 10 points. So they'll have lost ground. They're nearly 25 behind you guys now. So
Yeah, you see, me and Bants, we kind of know the dynamic. Without even discussing it, we know the dynamic of our team, whereby I consider Bants obviously the main driver, so he has to go and get the max points. And then I kind of come up with, I was going to say come up the rear, but a bit inappropriate. I try to support him as best I can, trying to get as high in the top 10 as I can. And that's what we've done since season 1. And it usually works out pretty decently.
yeah, he's got a good little run going, Bants. He's got, 5 podiums in a row? That's pretty good.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty consistent performer, which is really good.
Yeah, but how many races is left, Tara?
3
now.
left, yeah.
So it's going to be tight. It's going to go probably right to the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think the main championship will as well, because Hugo's has fallen off a little bit. It looked like Hugo's was going to win it for a while, but he's fallen off the last few races, and Nick and Bants have both closed up. So it's pretty close at the top now.
Is that for the drivers?
Yeah.
Type?
So yeah, pretty close. It'll be pretty good. The 3 races to go. Going to be a close one.
Well, if me and Bants can continue this, what we've been doing ever since season 1, then I think this is the best chance we have of clutching this constructors. I think we should have won it last season by miles, but again, we all know what happened. But I kind of dropped off Formula 1, as you know, for other many reasons. But I promised Bants that I would give it one last push, so hopefully we can get it this time.
Yeah, you're certainly looking like you might do. The last 3 races have been really good. You've been the leading team, I think, for the last 3 races, so that's really good going.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it, guys. So, I'm going to sign off and let you just finish up there, Tara.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for coming in, Tipsy. Good to talk to you.
No problem.
And I think we'll wrap the stream up there. Thanks everyone for watching. We got next week, of course. We got 2 SRL on Sunday again. And then we got SRL Tier 1 and Tier 2 on Thursday and Saturday, and a wild Jeremy Peters has appeared in the chat. How's it going, Jeremy?
I just want to ask, is it too late to restart the whole F1 game bad propaganda?
Nah.
Ah,
Well, you got a whole other game to do it with in what, a month. So you'll be able to start it up again then.
god damn it.
As long as it is actually bad, of course, that's
Well,
how
it
it
probably
works.
won't be, so that's a problem. Because then it's gonna be Jeremy bad, so
Bruh.
Jeremy Bad?
Oh,
I mean,
Bants is here
yes.
too. How's it going,
You're not
Bants?
happy to see me this time.
I think Taran Connor's planning to play Slay the Spire.
It could be,
Oh, is it?
yeah, it could
Unlucky.
be.
Let's talk about other cool things like biology for another 30 minutes. How about that?
Well, how was your race, Bants? What happened with King Buzzo earlier on in the race, from your perspective?
I underestimated him a lot. I let him pass me, meaning to coast him, and it took a lap and he was gone. So yeah. That's it. That's all I got for you.
A rip. It was a good race anyway. It was a good battle between the two of you. But I actually am ending the stream now, folks. Sorry, Bants. I'm going to end the stream because I've been talking a while and my voice is nearly gone. I don't even have Thimo today. It's very sad. He's not very well. So, but yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. I've said all that needs to be said, I think, about next week. Thanks for watching.
F1
See you
game
next
bad.
time. That too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.